Welcome back to Sports Seriously. The CDC eased mask mandates. States and sports leagues are planning to open up in June. But that begs a question. How safe is it to return to sporting events? We're here with Dr. F. Perry Wilson, Associate Professor of Medicine at Yale, to answer that very question. Thanks for joining us, Doctor.
So, Dr. Wilson, what is your reaction to the country and specifically sporting venues opening back up this summer? And what should people know as they debate heading back to the ballpark?
I'm really thankful for this. It is good to see some progress in the pandemic. The vaccination rollout has been very good. We've seen good uptake, and as vaccine uptake has increased, case rates have gone down. And so I think this is encouraging progress. I will say that the most important thing to keep yourself safe if you're going to go to a sports venue is to be vaccinated. We know the data is very strong on this. If you are vaccinated, your risk of getting severe COVID or COVID that requires hospitalization is almost down to zero. And so sounds to me like that's a good choice to get back out there. If you are not vaccinated, this is a wonderful opportunity to motivate yourself to get vaccinated, especially if you're a sports fan.
So let's say I am a fan and I'm vaccinated now. What should I know heading back to sporting events, and what kind of peace of mind should I have?
You should be pretty confident. You're fairly safe. Now, let's be honest, there's going to be some people in the stands who aren't vaccinated. And with the removal of various mask mandates, which might vary from stadium to stadium, there may be unvaccinated people there who aren't wearing masks. But if you've been vaccinated, you're really quite protected, even in that situation. It's not the same if you haven't been vaccinated. So if you're not yet vaccinated, as I said, go get vaccinated. If that is something you can't do for some reason or are unwilling to do, you really want to reconsider being in crowds of people where there might be unvaccinated people around, particularly sporting events. You know, these aren't quiet, somber affairs. People are going to be shouting. People are going to be yelling. There's a lot of aerosolization. Fortunately, many of these will be happening outside, a little bit safer. But really, if you want to feel safe, the key here is the vaccine.
Okay, Dr. Wilson, I want you to break it down even further for us. So we're going to call this portion mask on or mask off. I will give you a sporting event and you let us know when we should still consider wearing a mask, assuming that we are vaccinated. So first one, outdoor baseball park.
I mean, I can make this pretty easy. I'm going to say mask off if you've been fully vaccinated for pretty much everything, but give me a hard one.
Indoor hockey or basketball arena. Enclosed. Indoor.
Fully vaccinated, mask off.
Okay. Public trains or transit while you're heading to the arena or the park.
Now, the recommendation still would be mask off, but I have to say that different places have different rules. So you do have to check the local rules, just because what the CDC says, different stadiums might have different rules. But from a scientific standpoint, fully vaccinated, you're pretty safe.
The Yankees hit the 85% threshold set by the MLB in terms of vaccinations and still had an outbreak of positive tests. However, only one person experienced mild symptoms. The rest were asymptomatic. What for you was the most important takeaway from this example?
Yeah, I think this is a good object lesson on, that how vaccines work, which is that we know these particular vaccines are incredible at preventing serious infection, hospitalizations, and death. We know they are really good at preventing symptomatic infection. Only one of the Yankees players or staff had symptoms, apparently. And we know they're actually pretty good at even preventing asymptomatic infection, but they're not perfect. We know that people can still carry COVID-19 to a much lesser degree if they're vaccinated, but no vaccine is 100%, no vaccine is perfect. But this is what we want. The vaccines will convert COVID-19 from a potentially deadly disease, which I'll remind you has killed more than 500,000 Americans in the past year, to something, more akin to a cold or a flu or something like that. And this is what we need. So the Yankees picked up on this because they are doing so much testing. Most of us here in the real world wouldn't get tested if we were asymptomatic and already vaccinated. But it reminds us that things aren't perfect, but vaccines are by far and away the best weapon we have in this fight. If people can just get out there and get vaccinated, this thing ends. I mean, we can beat COVID. That is within our power. We just have to motivate people to do it, and you'll see life returning really much to normal.
Hey sports fans, if you want to watch more sports seriously, be sure to check out these clips right here. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel to see all the great content from us here at USA Today Sports.